This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Satellite Book Club seminar series. We are approaching, I believe, our fourth year in operation here, and even longer for those who remember the Polar Book Club. So 4 years at it, and to use a much overused term, 4 more years, I say. Title of our talk today, TOWR-S RPM version 25 Spotlight. Our presenter today is Emily Maddox, the TOWR-S team. And our facilitator is Joel Veneman, ITO from WFO Gaylord, Michigan. A few reminders, a few comments before we get underway. First of all, apologies for those of you who might not have received the mail out for this SBC until about 20 minutes ago. We understand that there was a delay in the outgoing email. Some folks got it on schedule about 3 hours ago, 9 o'clock Eastern time, but we learned that others didn't receive it till later. So apologies for the timing of that. As usual, this session will be recorded and we'll be taking Q&A after the presentation. We want to encourage you, as always, please post your questions and comments in the chat room and we will field them from there. And include your full name so we have a good record and can get back to you if we need to follow up. Always looking for future presenters for the seminar series. Please contact the TOWR-S team, Kashad Bowman or Emily Maddox, and they'd be happy to help with that. And as far as development of any training materials you might need to access for such a presentation or for other purposes, please contact Ross Van Til, and he should be able to help out with that. Thank yous to the TOWR-S team, Kashad Bowman, to Emily, our presenter today, to Joel, our facilitator. Emily's going to dive into her presentation here shortly, but just a few words about Emily. Emily Maddox is the TOWR-S Lead meteorologist. She received her BS and MS in atmospheric sciences from the University of North Dakota. After graduating, she became the Level 2 product validation coordinator within the USGS Landsat program in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where she supported field collaboration efforts both locally and internationally. She began supporting the NAWIPS and AWIPS Migration project in September of 22, and then joined the TOWR-S team in April 2023. It's been a pleasure having Emily on the team. Can't believe it's been a year already. Emily, welcome. Welcome to, this is part of your home, the Satellite Book Club. Looking forward to your presentation, and please begin at will.
All right, thank you, Brian. So today I'll be talking about the TOWRpro, previously known as the TOWR RPM version 25. So a little bit of background. What we are now calling the TOWRpro is what you've previously seen as the TOWR RPM combined with the AWIPS preprocessor, also known as the app. The app was integrated into version 24. So for the TOWRpro packages, they're providing agility, and we're looking for streamlined deployment of new capabilities outside of the AWIPS baseline and waiting for some products to get included into the AWIPS baseline. The content itself is based on input from the user community. So this includes satellite product evaluations, book club presentations, but also just interactions with forecasters themselves. We talk to forecasters, SUs, ITOs, and a ton of other people who provide input on what they're looking for. And we look at what we can include in our future releases. We do go through end-to-end testing and early evaluation with help from OPG and then regional focal points. So what is a TOWRpro package? It includes configuration files both for EDEX and CAVE. When we do install these TOWRpros, they are updating files at the AWIPS site level. There are no changes with the baseline AWIPS configuration or code. And we do provide cumulative updates. So everything that was in version 4 is included in version 25. The only time where that's not the case is if we have outdated content or if something has become part of the AWIPS baseline. And something that was really popular with version 24 was the GOES CIRA Geocolor and 5-minute GLM accumulations. both of those are going to be included in version 25. So I would like to take a moment and talk about version 24. So we had 143 AWIPS sites that installed version 24, which is absolutely incredible. We couldn't have done all of this without you taking the time to actually go through the install. And so we appreciate everybody working with us, especially when we went through the period where we made appointments and everything. And so we just really appreciate you taking that time. For version 24, like I mentioned in the last slide, it has the GOES CIRA Geocolor and 5-minute GLM grids. So since we had such a wide deployment with version 24, they were able to shut off both products from the central region LDM. This happened back in March, and that has a savings of about 1 terabyte per day. And so version 25, we're in the final stages of preparation. We plan to have it available for evaluation sites in mid-May, and then a broader field release in late May of this year. So this slide has a ton of information on it. This is part of what's being included in version 25. Quite a few of these things have an additional slide later on that we'll be talking through them. There is the GOES 19 readiness. So this is really important as GOES U is currently set to launch in June 25th. We also have different updates such as the new cap soundings. So we're including region 6 within those as well. There's updates to the decoding of the GOES aerosol detection, which is the smoke and dust detection product that just had an update a couple of days ago. And then we have some updates to the app itself. So we included the geocolor production during GOES Mode 4 operations. Mode 4 isn't super common, but when it does happen, we want to make sure that you still get your geocolor. We also have some improvements with like memory usage tracking, improve the install procedure so it's a lot faster. And then we're also providing support for the changeover to Rel 8, which is coming up in AWIPS releases. So getting into some of the products that are going to be within this release. So we have the GOES split window moisture channel difference. And I want to say a special thanks to Bill Vine and Luis Rosa. So this updated split window moisture channel difference, it has a new gray color scale, and this allows you to highlight blowing dust plumes and tight moisture gradients, which is really important for a lot of the WFOs. And these contain the same enhancements that you've seen in the CIRA slider. We do have additional information on the split window channel difference. It's within the OCLO quick guide. When all these slides are made available later today, you'll be able to click the links directly. We also have NESDIS snowfall rate. So this is an update. NESDIS snowfall rate was included in version 24 with the help of Emily Burnt, Chris White, Juan Meng, and Joel Veneman. We have updates for the sampling and color map. So this will include things like liquid equivalent up to 0.4 inches per hour. This is going to be available over the regional LDM, so CONUS only, and this will include just the snowfall rate and the merged snowfall rate. GOES ABI flood maps. So special thanks to Carl Jones and William Straka. So the GOES ABI flood maps, they're going to be displayed similar to the VIIRS flood maps that were released in version 24. It's broken up into these two areas. There's one for GOES West, and then two is GOES East. This is an hourly product, so it accumulates flood detection from the sunrise to the current hour. This is really helpful as you start to reduce the impact of clouds throughout the day, typically. This also includes a daily map equivalent to the last hourly frame for each day. And with these flood maps, so since we have the VIIRS flood maps and now we have the ABI flood maps, there will be a new menu option within the GOES sites themselves that includes both VIIRS and ABI under one flood maps option, which is highlighted in green here. We also have the OceanSat 3 or OSCAT's wind evaluation. So this is something that was available from NESDA STAR. And we are working on evaluation with ocean coastal sites and then Great Lakes sites and RFCs. So you can see we have quite a list of people here that are contributing to this evaluation. We do have our polar planner, which we will be touching on in just a little bit, where you can see when this satellite will be over your area. And I want to say thank you to Paul Chang, Joe Sinowitz, and Wallace Hogsett. And I'll hand it over to Lee quick for SAR. Maybe. Lee, are you there? I can talk through SAR quick, unless someone else hears Lee and I don't.
No, I don't hear him either, Emily. So
Okay.
Lee, yeah, if Lee's not available right now or maybe got disconnected, Emily, if you could please proceed.
Yep, I'll go through SAR. So for SAR, we're also doing wind speed evaluations, and this is coming from NESDA STAR. These wind speeds with the ice mask are coming from a variety of satellites that you can see on the screen. This is looking at the Great Lakes and east coastal sites. So we have quite a few different sites currently that are going to be doing this evaluation that you can also see on the screen. But we are open to additional sites that would like to look at this data as we move forward with this evaluation. So
Hey,
Haley.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I just had to get unmuted there. Sorry, I'm on my phone. I've been following along. Thank you for explaining all that. I can continue a few words on the SAR if you'd like.
Yeah, sounds great.
The SAR data has been presented before in the past, and I apologize if any of this is a repeat, but Chris Jackson and Tyler Ruff have visited us, and we've gotten inputs from offices before about using the SAR winds, and they put together a really good website to be able to track the different scenes from those satellites that are listed there, the Canadian RadarSat Constellation Mission 1, 2, and 3, as well as Sentinel-1A. There's also a Sentinel-1C that's coming soon. And so the web page graphic example here is on the right-hand side, and then the AWIPS rendition is on the left over the Great Lakes with the wind maps. And so we're trying to demonstrate in this version for Great Lakes offices and as well as East Coast offices all the way up from Miami northward, the opportunity to be able to pull this in via LDM. We're rendering the data using the same formats that the GOES imagery uses, so the performance should be decent for these plots as they come in over LDM. So we do thank Marty Mullen from the Cleveland office, Luis Rosa again for mentioning these products and for showing us how they use them in some of their operations, and of course Chris and Sean from STAR. And so if we go to the next slide, I do have an addendum to the SAR. There is a polar planner tool in VLab. You can take a look at different instruments and find where they'll be. So for that example on the previous slide, if we clicked on the SAR, that particular instrument, RCM3, we would have seen when it's going to be over Lake Superior, where it's going. So there's a tool there to go along with that as well. And with that, I'll pass it back over to you, Emily.
Thanks, Lee. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we are planning to provide version 25 to evaluation sites in mid-May. We are planning to have it available for all field offices by the end of May. And if you are interested in being an evaluation site, definitely reach out to us. We're always happy to include you. And you can reach out through our Slack channel or to myself or Lee. For this release, we will not be requiring any appointments, but we will be available for appointments if anybody would like to sit down on a line with us and go through the installation. We won't be scheduling these until we do the full release, and there will be notifications sent out when we have the release made. There's definitely going to be a notification through our Slack channel, and there will be a mailer sent out to the different WFOs and RFCs, CWCUs, national centers. And with that, I'll take any questions.
All right, thanks, Emily. Once again, as is normal for the Satellite Book Club, we encourage all the attendees to stay on for what's informally called the after party, the discussion after this. We certainly encourage and solicit participation, especially from field offices. This is one really good way to get information straight from the horse's mouth and provide feedback into it. One of the things that I really like about the TOWR-S team is that you can look at products and say, this is really cool, but it'd be even better if it could do this. And then they come back and say, well, we can't technically do that. Or, hey, maybe we can do this instead. And there's a lot of feedback and complete feedback loops that go along with that, that you actually see action taken on some things, which is different from perhaps some other areas. But certainly, again, thank you, Emily, for this. The new TOWR-S builds are always kind of like Christmas morning. You wait and see what the new stuff is coming out, and oh, cool. I can imagine using this in operations, and this would be really cool and that sort of thing. If you have any questions about the version 25 release or things like that, absolutely feel free to stay on, post those questions in the chat. For the few of you that didn't put your full name in when you joined the book club today, if you could put your full name in when you're posting the question, that would be great. Just allows TOWR-S to track it a little bit better, because again, they pay attention to this, and this is stuff that may not end up in version 25, since that's pretty much locked and ready to go. But if you have suggestions for it, don't be really shocked if you see something like that coming in version 26 or 27 or somewhere else down the line. So Kashad has posted a link. SBC is always looking for facilitators and people to do basically what I'm doing right now, just to kind of get discussions going about the topics of the Satellite Book Club. If that's something that appeals to you, that you would want to do, certainly follow the link that Kashad will be posting in the chat area, just a Google form to give the basics so that they can get back in contact with you. Next week, our Satellite Book Club has Randy Bowers, who's a lead in Indianapolis, talking about the basics of ABI interpretation. You saw a couple of slides from Emily today about new flood maps and things like that associated with the ABI. So that should be a very interesting discussion for next week, Thursday, May 2nd. Again, starting at noon Eastern time. So let's see what we have here. One of the first questions that we have, talking about Lightning Cast, and Lightning Cast is certainly a very popular product. So what's going to be happening with that and with version 25, and where will people be able to get it?
So Lightning Cast will be included. I have this giant slide here. These are all the things that were in version 24 that will be included within version 25, which does include the GOES East and West Lightning Cast.
Very good. So just in general, if people have suggestions or suggestions for future builds or things that don't work exactly the way they thought it would or things like that, what is the best way to get a hold of the TOWR-S team to try and submit that feedback?
Definitely reach out to us. We are constantly checking the Slack channel and constantly striving to have quick response in the Slack channel. If you don't feel like posting in the Slack channel, you're also always welcome to email us, either myself or Lee. We're always happy to get any feedback that you have, whether it's positive or negative. I appreciate any feedback.
Very good. So one of the slides that you talked about with version 24 was the bandwidth savings of being able to compute GLM and geocolor data on the AWIPS instead of having to transmit it over the LDM. Do you see any other products or any other similar savings, not necessarily in version 25, but somewhere down the line that would also help relieve the bandwidth issues that field offices perennially have?
I'll let Lee weigh in to see what products he thinks we may be able to convert.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, that's a good question, Joel. And some of the things that occur to us at times might not necessarily be ones that are on a migration path now, but sometimes questions come up about certain enhancements from different satellites, snow RGBs perhaps, or approximate visible proxy viz, and how would those get sent and provided when offices want to apply them. And the proxy viz is one example. That do you have another 500 meter resolution tile banded imagery product that you're trying to send over the waves over the LDM, or does it make sense to do some lightweight processing on the system and feed it into LDM? So maybe some of the things that come up more along the lines of upcoming or future products, we get more advancements in ways to generate and put together the tiles and to do those kind of spectral enhancements. How would we do that? Perhaps locally makes sense, like with the proxy viz.
All right, that's terrific. On one of the last teaser slides, you said that the version 25 is in the final stage of prep and it's going to be put out to a handful of evaluation sites in just a few weeks. If an office wants to become one of those eval sites, how do they go about doing that?
Reach out to us through Slack. I will be posting later on in Slack, likely today after this presentation is uploaded to the VLab page. So we will make it available through there. I do, of course, have our contact information here, but when I post in Slack, it will also include our contact information. You can reach out through Slack to request to become an evaluation site, or you can email us, or you can chat us. The only issue with chatting is, the 24-hour restriction. So email is typically best, email or Slack.
All right, that's terrific. You mentioned kind of in passing the new satellite that's going up. Do you have any sneak previews of information that you might be able to pull from GOES 19 that field offices might be interested in?
I don't think I have any sneak previews. I don't know if Lee or someone else on the team has any sneak previews. I came in very late in the game for GOES U.
Yeah, I was just going to see if anyone else on the line might want to add anything from the programmatic level, whether in chat. But the one thing we are aware of with GOES 19 is that it's a continuity of what the GOES R series provides. So we expect a Lightning Mapper product as well. We expect the same 16 bands. So that's safe enough to say that. But yeah, I pass it on to anyone else who might want to add anything on the line.
Hey Lee, it's Joe Fiore. There's also the C-Core instrument, which is going to be new on GOES 19. Will be, so that's coming. So that's new. Everything else is a continuity, like you said.
And Lee and Emily, this is Brian. If I could add that with GOES U, GOES 19 planning to be pressed into service as GOES East next April. That GOES 16 with a healthy ABI will become a backup, so that I think improves the robustness of the GOES R series that will have not only 19 in the east slot and 18 in the west slot, but a backup ABI in GOES 16 in the center slot, with GOES 17 there at least for a while as well between the two. So looking forward to that.
Well, that's great, and kind of stole my thunder for the next question is what were your plans for GOES 16 data after it's no longer GOES East? So I don't see any other questions in the chat, but I certainly, as always, appreciate TOWR-S presentations and features of goodies yet to come. So I will turn it back over to Brian.
All right, thank you very much, Joel, we appreciate your facilitation today, and Emily, thanks as well for that informative talk. Thank you to all the participants. Everyone here today, as Joel mentioned a few minutes ago, please join us next week, Thursday, May 2nd, usual time, for Randy Bauer's talk on the basics of ABI interpretation. Until then, thanks very much, everyone. Satellite Book Club signing off.